warm welcome to all our participants for this fantastic Sunday morning webinar for the month of April 2016. A webinar on 11 tiny habits of successful entrepreneurs which can help you to master money and happiness. So without further delay, let's begin this webinar, and thank you very much for all the participants who have joined across the country. And before I begin, for those of you who know me, those of you who do not know me, a very short bio of who I am. My name is Murali Sundaram. I'm popularly known as the happiness coach in this country, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I helped more than 1 lakh people so far in helping them to achieve peak performance and leadership effectiveness across various domains, and right from business leaders, executives, professionals, CEOs, business owners and entrepreneurs of small, medium and large corporations. I am also a business strategist and consultant. I help companies to grow from 5 crores to 50 crores and above. And of late, I'm also been called as a philosopher because too much of philosophy is coming out of me. So this is a very short profile, and also the best-selling author of this book called Happiness Habits. You can just Google me or on Amazon. You can always find this book. If you have read it, please do share your comments at the end of the webinar, or otherwise you can just buy it on Amazon Kindle and read the book. Now, what are you going to learn in this webinar? Now, in this webinar, in the next 55 minutes, that's the duration of this webinar, I'm going to share with you why it's very important to learn tiny habits, why it's very important at this junction in our life, and what will you lose if you do not learn this? Is there anything that you're going to lose if you do not know this information and if you do not practice this information? And I'm also going to share with you 2 kinds of habits which are prevalent with many entrepreneurs and professionals and managers and leaders, and why both of them are absolutely useless to you. And I'm going to share with you a 3rd habit today. That is the most important habit. And also I'm going to share with you 11 tiny habits of successful entrepreneurs which they have cultivated throughout their lifetime, which is responsible for their key success, money-making capability, and also their inner happiness. And also I will share with you quickly and briefly how to form the habit and how to take action, because that's the key at the end of this particular webinar. And also I'm going to share with you 2 habits of mine which is giving me some internal happiness. So this is what you're going to learn in the next 55 minutes. So if that's the case, let's quickly get on to the webinar. Because many people have asked me, because I deal with many entrepreneurs in my life, and everyone keeps asking me, what is the secret of successful entrepreneurs? Would you like to know what it is? The secret of successful entrepreneurs is very simple, because they are all, every successful entrepreneur, if you look very closely, they all started like us with the same conditions. Probably many of them started with 0 or even with negative balance in their life. And if you look very closely, everyone has the same 24 hours. Am I right in saying? And they are not an X-Man or an Iron Man. They are not a superhero with some superhuman strength or energy. They are just like us. Just like us, they are very ordinary people. But they do something extraordinary which makes them to become successful. So, would you like to know what separates them from you and me? Would you like to know what is that? Because the answer to their success lies in their daily routines. They have amazing daily routines. Come what may, they stick to these daily routines, which is helping them to become more successful. Just ask yourself, what would happen if you improve your daily routine by 1%? Do you know what will happen? This is what will happen. Oh, the number looks a little daunting. Let me explain you briefly. If, for example, if you have a bad habit in your life, and whoever gives into that bad habit and loses their grip by just 1%, 1 day at a time, you will end up at 3% of what you started with at the end of the year. But at the same time, if the person improves 1% on a daily basis, ends up 38 times better by the end of the year. So just by looking at 1% improvement from yesterday to today, that can make you successful. And if you do not do this, that's what will kill you, because you will lose. You would have started with 100%, for example, and every day you degrow by 1% on your habits. By the end of the year, you're only 3% of that particular habit or potential. But whereas when you improve every day marginally just by 1%, and and exponential growth reaches you to 38%. Now, there are two kinds of habits which I'm going to share with you today. The two kinds of habits which many of you who are watching this webinar, the live one or the recorded version, there are two kinds of habits. One is called the spending habits and one is called the saving habits. I'm sure that you would are familiar with both these terminologies. Okay, but let me tell you the greatest secret. Both habits do not make you rich in life. You know why? You can spend less on clothes this year, but that's not going to help you to retire 10 years earlier. Or you may plan to even save 5,000 rupees. You didn't spend, but you look very closely. The bank deposits are declining year after year after year. So that's also not going to take you to financial freedom and greatest wealth. But I'm going to share with you something different today. A third type of a habit which will be very, very helpful and useful to many of you watching this webinar. Now, this is the habit which many successful entrepreneurs have cultivated. Would you like to know? That habit, it's called earning habits. It's not spending habit. It's not saving habit. It's called earning habits. Now, what is this earning habit? Earning habit is, some our habits are not, they're not day-to-day habits of everyday spenders and average savers. They are the habits of the rich and super successful entrepreneurs, and that's what I'm going to share with you today on 11 different earning habits. But before that, let's understand earning habits. Earning habits are like a very small, tiny habit, like a tree. Let's take an example of a tree. If you observe the tree, there is a surface aspect, which is the stem, the trunk, leaves and branches and even the fruits. But they are the surface aspect, which above the ground level. But the success of the surface is because of the hidden aspect of the tree, which is the roots. And the habits which I'm going to share with you today are like the hidden habits of like the roots of the tree, and they are very small, tiny roots which grow deeper into the mother earth, which helps this tree to sustain and deliver fruits. So if you are looking out to get more success, which is a fruit, you have to focus on the root below. So that's what I'm going to share with you, because my one habit or my one desire or my desire to add more value to others actually added more value to me, because the more I focused on the tiny habit of helping other human beings, actually I've added more and more value in my life, and my whole life has transformed in the last 1 decade because of my desire to help other human beings. So if you really want to be successful, all you need to do is help 10, if you want to be successful 10 more times, help 10 times more people in your life, you will become successful. But today in this webinar, I'm going to share with you 11 tiny habits of successful entrepreneurs. So are you all ready to take notes? Do you have a pen and paper? Please type yes if you have it. And are you all ready? Just to see whether you're there with me. Okay, that's nice. Thank you. So let's quickly get on to the first habit. Thank you. Let's quickly get on to the first habit. This is the habit number 1, which is the most important habit of successful people. The world's two largest guys, the world's two largest and richest people, these are the two guys. I think many of you know who they are. It's Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. One day they decided to meet up. And when they were discussing, Bill Gates' father asked both of them together, okay, what was the most ingredient to your success? Bill Gates was waiting for Warren to answer, and Warren was waiting for Bill Gates to answer. But there was a little bit of silence in between. But what happened? Both of them answered at a stretch together. And do you know what was the answer? That was the best answer from the world's two richest people in the world. They attributed their success for their impeccable focus. The answer they gave was, my laser sharp focus is the reason for my enormous wealth. The number one habit, tiny habit of successful entrepreneurs is this. They absolutely are focused on what they want and how to achieve it. But look at our own lives on the other hand. How many times are we distracted on a full day? You look very closely. We are distracted n number of times throughout the day, and we are unable to hold the focus. So if you really want to stay focused, I'm going to share with you some simple techniques and tools which you can practice. These are some of the practices which I adopt and many of the successful people adopt. Simple tools to stay focused is practice checking emails at a particular time of your day. Not every time when you receive the email, immediately open and see the inbox. Or even checking your Facebook, your WhatsApp, any kind of social media updates. Just keep a specific time, and it will be of great help if you just stick to a particular timeline. Thereby your focus will not get impacted. And this is something which I generally follow because I end up in writing a lot of books and Facebook articles and posts, and I have a lot of time. I need a lot of time to prepare. Even for this webinar, I had to prepare. So whenever I have to prepare, I switch off the Wi-Fi so that I don't get disturbed. So that is one way to stay focused. And also you can practice a lot of mindfulness techniques, because the reason why our mind gets disturbed, because mind is like a monkey, a drunken wild monkey bitten by a scorpion. So the mind keeps on jumping from the past to the future to the fantasy, because monkey mind is a survival tool. But if you really want to become successful, you need to stay focused on the present moment, on the given task. So you need to practice a lot of mindfulness techniques. I'm sure that you would have heard about mindfulness, which is now the most caught up word across the globe today. And I've also written a book on mindfulness. You just go to amazon.com/author/Murali Sundaram. I've written a book on mindfulness miracles, which shares more than 21 techniques. Just pick up any one technique and practice the technique. Thereby you can become more and more focused. So the number one habit of successful entrepreneur is focus. So let's quickly move on to habit number 2. Now let me ask you this question. I think this may sound very familiar to many of you. Does your life depends upon a desk, a chair, and we end up in spending lots of time on a whole day sitting on the desk and working? Because I have seen many entrepreneurs sitting on the desk, many leaders, many managers, they stick to their desk and they have to put on 10 to 12 hours of work every single day. I'm going to ask you a very important question, and for this question I have not seen anyone answering no. I am sure that if you're watching this webinar and you're also going to say yes to this, you know what's the question? How important is your health? I am sure that you're going to tell me that is the most important. I have not heard anyone who says this is not important. You know, successful entrepreneurs, they are very clear, very clear that health is wealth. They ensure that this mission, this the most important part of their whole business and their life. So they ensure that this mission is taken care completely. So they involve themselves in some kind of an activity because they know that this mission has to be active. So for successful entrepreneurs, the most important tiny habit is they take care of this mission, because without this, nothing is possible. You may have greatest dreams and aspirations in your life. You want to conquer the world with your business. You want to earn billions and millions. But if this mission becomes a limitation for you, it's very difficult. So successful people know that the second important habit is they have to keep the body healthy. So they involve themselves in some kind of a movement, non-stop movement or active mode. Like for example, how to be active? Look at very clearly. It's not the rocket science of exercise. Even if you have 5 minutes a day, just involve yourself in the 5 minutes of walking, jogging, some kind of an exercise in the morning. Or if you are going to tell me that, Murali, I don't have time, then let me give you the most important, a very simple tool. If you are a very busy guy, always stuck to the desk, you can try the famous Pomodoro technique. Do you know what is Pomodoro technique? This is one technique which I love to share. This is one technique which I learned long ago, and I use this. Pomodoro technique means you set a timer for 25 minutes. Put the timer for 25 minutes. Let the alarm stick to either on the screen or in your mobile. You put an alarm for 25 minutes and focus on one activity for 25 minutes non-stop. Once 25 minutes is over, take a 5-minute break. In that 5-minute break, just stand, walk, stretch, maybe go to your terrace, take a nice deep breath outside. Just get yourself move. Just move yourself from the seat that you're sitting. So that's one interesting technique, that every 25 minutes, you can take a 5 minutes break and just move your body, stretch your body. That's something which is which many people do it. They don't work non-stop continuously. Some people, even Robin Sharma has shared that every 90 minutes take a 10-minute break. I even come down to a 25 minute plus 5 minutes of break session. That's what this Pomodoro technique is all about. If you're working in an organization where you have to take a staircase, avoid taking the escalator or the lift and take the staircase. That's also one way of keeping the body a little bit of healthy. Let the adrenaline pump in, let the muscles stretch here and there. So these are some of the simple tools, but remember, successful people, they invest on this machine. They take care of this body very, very clearly because for them, this is very important. If you have more time, invest yourself in 15 minutes to 30 minutes of regular exercise in the morning. That one habit will help you, will pump you enough energy, will pump you enough endorphins in the body to ensure that you're always active with lots and lots of energy throughout the day. So let's quickly move on to the next habit, habit number 3. Many a times we end up in asking this question, what should I accomplish today? There are many entrepreneurs who they get up early in the morning and they start thinking, okay, what is the task for the day? What are the tasks for the day? What am I supposed to do today? But there's a small difference between ordinary entrepreneurs and extraordinary entrepreneurs. They ask this question not today. What am I supposed to accomplish today? They ask this question yesterday night. Dad, what should I accomplish tomorrow? They get clarity on this question before they go back to sleep of tomorrow because they believe that they have to start early but be prepared also. Starting early is one of the most important habits of successful entrepreneurs. For years, I don't know for how many years, more than 30 years, 35 years, I always get up very early every single day. I'm almost up by around 4:30 a.m. and by around 12 o'clock, my whole business life is done. Almost all my priorities and tasks, everything is done by the time it hits 12 o'clock. But still, I work from 5 a.m. to night 8:30 p.m. That's the longest hour we could, because successful entrepreneurs, they put in lots of time. They put in lots of time also at the same time. And they get up early. Not only they get up early, but they're prepared when they're getting up early. So they always plan the previous night what they have to do the previous night. So if you have a habit of preparing a to-do list, my suggestion is do not have a big laundry list of to-do activities. My suggestion to you, this is what I do in my life. Just prepare one thing to do that particular day. Focus on that one thing for the day, and by the end of the night, you should put a tick on that and say done. Focusing on one thing, or if possible, I know some of you may say one thing would be not possible, maybe maximum up to 3 things, man. Don't go beyond 3 because I am for sure you're not going to do it. Successful people, they do not have a big laundry list. They are very clear what they want to achieve that particular day. They divide their task and ask the question, is this task or a to-do is an income producing activity or an income reducing activity? So when they prepare the list itself, they know whether it is an IPA, income producing activity, or an IRA, income reducing activity. They remove all the IRAs and focus on that 1 or 2 income producing activity, which is very simple. So this is the habit number 3. Let's go to habit number 4. Habit number 4 is something very, very simple that successful entrepreneurs always do. They don't just sit in their house and wait for some miracle to happen. They know that business is possible, success is possible only with fellow human beings. And they have a very unique habit of connecting with fellow human beings. So they ensure that they connect with new people in their life. They build their contacts. They go out there and meet people. They just don't sit in their office always. They don't sit at the desk always. They have a habit of networking with people, building contacts, building a relationship with people. That's something very unique. You go around and look out for any successful entrepreneur. They will tell you that contacts are the currency of the 21st century. Today, personally, I know more than 1,000 plus entrepreneurs, and there are many entrepreneurs whom I know they have helped me and they've opened doors for me. And because I'm being the executive director for BNI Chennai Region A, I end up in meeting lots and lots of new people. So my request to you is, if you are an entrepreneur, go to those networking meetings, go to those BNI meetings, go to those Rotary events, or any other networking opportunities available in your city or town. Just ensure that weekly you meet. Because at the end of the week, you should ask the question, one question, how many new people I got connected? Successful people look at that. They always ask themselves, how many new people I've added? And they keep in touch with these new people. It's very, very important. We need to connect with people, and that's one small tiny habit of building a relationship. It's not for business, okay? Just to build relationship with people. Successful entrepreneurs cultivate this habit. Habit number 5. Whenever something small thing happens, successful entrepreneurs, they celebrate success. They take a little bit of their time to celebrate success. It's not a gala party or anything. It's a small tiny success, even for that small success. For example, if someone tells me through my daily emails, if someone tells me that, Murali, because of the email, my life got changed, I suddenly became very happy, I was able to become more productive, that one small email from them gives me a little bit of happiness. So I celebrate that particular success. I even eat one small ice cream or candy with my wife. You don't know. It's all that small, tiny things that really matter. So take time to celebrate success. That is one of the key habits of successful entrepreneurs. By making this habit, you are actually allowing to recognize the process of success, which is the key for continuous growth and profitability. So even if it's a small thing, small success, okay, not the big milestone, even the small things. If you think that you are moving towards the direction, celebrate it. The more you celebrate success, your mind will push you towards more and more success and more profitability. So remember to take time to celebrate those tiny success. So let's move on to habit number 6. I'm going to ask you this question. Are you a victim? Are you a victim of what others think of you disorder? Because I know a lot of people who have this problem. They always worry about what others think of me. This is one unique disease they have. I don't know whether to call this as disorder or disease, but I see enough people who are more worried and concerned about what others will think of me. I'm sure that you also know a lot of people like this. But successful entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter what others think of them. But what you think of yourself certainly matters. For successful entrepreneurs, they don't care about what others think of them. For them, what they think of themselves certainly does matter. So they take a lot of time to build that level of confidence and ability to believe in themselves when nobody else does. So it's very important to become successful, to cultivate this habit of continuously talking to yourself on positively way. You look at any successful entrepreneurs, they would have developed some kind of a positive self-talk methodology. They even stand in front of the mirror and talk to themselves to build up their confidence and motivation. I know that how difficult entrepreneurship is all about. I have suffered a lot, failed many a times. I know how difficult it is to maintain the motivation to go for the next sale. So it's very important that we should not lose our confidence, and we need to positively talk to ourselves, self-talking. So there are various techniques that are available. If you go to my website www.happinesscoach.co.in, I have shared a huge list of positive affirmations. You can pick and choose any one and make that as your positive self-talk, or you can create your own in your own mother tongue. But ensure that you look at your own self on the mirror, your mirror image. Look at the eyes of the mirror image of your own self. Tell that. The best positive self-talk I tell myself is, I like myself. There are many people who do not like themselves, and that's one of the biggest reasons for their failure. So you can tell, I like myself every single day by looking at your own self on the mirror. So please cultivate some kind of a positive self-talk mechanism, because what we focus upon always expands. You focus upon positive aspect of yourself, you will always expand. If you focus on the negative aspect of yourself, you will always expand on the negative way. So either way, something is going to expand. So let it be on the positive side. So let's move on to habit number 7. If you are an entrepreneur, tell me, what are the 2 greatest roadblocks for an entrepreneur? Do you know what are the 2 greatest roadblocks? Can you type and answer me? If you are listening me, can you just type, what do you think are the 2 greatest roadblocks for an entrepreneur or a successful leader? Can you just type the answer on the chat box? What do you think are the 2 greatest roadblocks for an entrepreneur? Can you type the answer? Just tell me. There is nothing called right or wrong. Just shoot your answer. Any answer is okay. There is nothing called right or wrong. Just type. Man management, okay. Fear of failure. Interesting answers. Okay, thank you. Limiting thoughts. Lack of guidance. I'm receiving a lot of good inputs from many of the participants. It clearly shows that you guys are watching me and listening me, taking notes. Thank you. Let me share with you. Thank you very much for sharing. I think Ram Krishna is typing, so I will wait for Ram to answer. But according to me, getting into minute details. But let me tell you, from my business experience, the two greatest roadblocks for an entrepreneur is fear and the frustration because the business is not going in the way I want to go. Have you experienced this? If you are a business leader or a leader of a large corporation, it's absolutely there. These are the two greatest roadblocks in our life. It's fear and frustration. So, successful entrepreneurs, they have learned, they know that they have to go through this road. So, they know that they have to cross this roadblock. So, they have learned how to overcome fear in 2 minutes time. Would you like to know how to overcome fear in 2 minutes time? It's something very simple. It's very, very simple. Whether it is fear or frustration, it's very simple. Whatever is frustrating you, whatever is irritating you, whatever is the fear you're talking about. Say, for example, if you have a fear of taking the phone call and speaking to the client, or if you have a fear of writing, or if you have the fear of speaking, if you have any kind of a fear, irritation, all you need to do is do that one action for 2 minutes. If you're scared of talking, talk. If you're scared of writing, write for 2 minutes. If you're scared of eating that particular stuff which your doctor is advising, do that for 2 minutes. Just immerse yourself into that fear. Go deeper into the feeling of frustration and live that for 2 minutes. Once you live that for 2 minutes, actually you will find that, oh my God, that's it. That's the feeling you will get. So a very simple technique to get rid of fear is to live that fear for 2 minutes. Just for 2 minutes, live the fear. You will get out of it faster. This is what many successful people do. They know that by stepping out of this, there's a comfort zone. They are a little scared to step out of this, but they do it for 2 minutes and see how it feels. The minute your mind is satisfied, it's okay, you are ready to take the jump. You are ready to handle the fear. You are ready to handle the frustration. That's something many successful entrepreneurs have cultivated. So from tomorrow onwards or today onwards, if something scares you, do that for 2 minutes. Something frustrates you and irritates you, live that feeling little deeper for 2 minutes. You will get out of it. So okay with that? So let's go on to the habit number 8. Now most entrepreneurs face burnout issues. They put in lots of time and energy and effort and money and resources. But predominantly they all face burnout issues due to one reason. The burnout is not due to money. The burnout is not due to people skills. The burnout is not due to any other things. The number one reason for burnout for many successful people is lack of proper sleep. Do you know that successful people get very good sleep? They focus on their sleep very well. It's very important that they should sleep. Yesterday I saw in Facebook a post of Sir Richard Branson, the guy who was one of the most successful entrepreneur, and he is advising people that you should sleep. It's very important that we should all sleep. And number one reason for many people becoming more stressed and frustrated and irritated, even with their families and colleagues and clients, is because they don't follow proper sleeping pattern. Many successful people, they have one small habit. You know what? They sleep at the right time. Come what may, let the heaven may fall. They hit the bed and they sleep. And I ensure that by around 8:45, 9 p.m. in the night, I sleep. That's it. All the mobile data, everything is off. No one can reach me. Almost everyone who knows me know that I am off by 8:45 p.m. So it's very, very important that you develop some good sleeping habits. So it's very important. You have to take care of your body well, because as I told you earlier, successful entrepreneurs, they take care of this machine first, because if this machine doesn't function, there is no guarantee for success. But there is one guarantee of your health disorder and health failure. Whatever money you're going to make, you will be happily paying for the healthcare industry. I am sure that you are not interested that way on the money that you are making. So ensure that you take sufficient rest and sleep well. My advice to you is sleep at the right time, eat at the right time. Thereby, you and your business that you're creating will always thank you for it. So sleep well. That's one simple habit that all of us can do it. Anyhow, whether you like it or not, you're sleeping. All I'm asking you through this webinar is sleep at the right time. Every single day. Whatever happens, don't break it. Let's quickly go on to habit number 9. I know there are many entrepreneurs whom I personally meet up with. They have this superhero syndrome. Do you know what is the superhero syndrome? They want to do everything on their own. They think that they are a superhuman, they are superhero, they want to do everything. But let me tell you, you don't have an answer for all the problems in the world. So, the most important habit of successful entrepreneurs is they ask for help. Don't worry, don't feel bad, don't feel shy for asking for help. Every successful entrepreneur, they ask for help when there is a requirement. They don't put their ego doesn't come in the front. They know that they are not great in everything, because every successful entrepreneur, for example, people like you are an entrepreneur in a niche segment, or if you are a business, or if you are a leader for a large organization, you know that you are a strength in a particular segment. You are not a great in every possible area. So there are people out there who can help you when you're stuck, when you need them. But they can come to you only when you ask them. Successful entrepreneurs, they always have the habit of asking for help. So dump the superhero habit and ask for help from other experts in the industry. Successful entrepreneurs, you know what they do? They always hire someone full time who is smarter than them. They do not hire someone who is dumb than them. When they have decided to hire and expand their business, they always hire someone who is smarter than them and better than them in their area of weakness, so that they will fill that particular gap. So please feel free to ask for help in life. The help can be with your spouse, can be even with your children. The help can be with your elders, with your mentors, with your teachers, or even with your staff. Sometimes the help can be with even with your clients. So just ask for help. If you're part of BNI, if you're part of any kind of a networking organization, go and ask for help, man. There are many entrepreneurs waiting to help you. If you ask, you will receive help. Okay, so let's quickly go on to the habit number 10, which is the most important habit. Do you know the number one mistake I see with many entrepreneurs today? The mistake is they end up in doing too many things in life, but they're not consistent in that one thing. Because not being consistent in what they do is the number one mistake that many entrepreneurs commit in their life. Because consistency is the key for success in money making or success in achieving greater happiness in life. So if you are a business leader, a business owner, or a leader of a large multinational organization, the number one habit that you have to develop is how to be consistent in that small things that is shaping you up. Because everybody are looking at you and observing you, whether are you doing that regularly. Because that small, tiny, consistent habit is what makes the difference between a great leader and a good leader. So consistency is the key. So how do you develop consistency? Now, being consistent in what you choose to do in life, because it's a choice that you make in life. And what is the advantage of being consistent? Because the more you're consistent, it builds your trust. It builds your loyalty with your peers, with your colleagues, with your vendors, with your clients. And it also creates more momentum in your business. And all you need to do is just create a schedule and follow it through till completion. So it's very important in doing consistently, because there's a tremendous power in doing small things every day, because it has a compound effect on your bottom line and profits. So being consistent is one of the important habits that successful entrepreneurs do it. For example, for many years, I've been consistent in doing one thing. Out of many social medias available, I'm very consistent with Facebook. That's the reason my Facebook following base is now growing, has crossed more than 5,000 likes in that. And I have more than 5,000 friends in my profile page. Because every single day I have made it a habit that every day morning between 5:30 to 6, there is a post on happiness tips. So I have made this as a very small, tiny habit. And every single day, this is happening. And I don't know whether you have seen my page. If you have not, just go to www.facebook.com/happinesscoachmurali, which you see it on the screen. Just go there and press like. Every single day, you will get one happiness update, one happiness tip to enhance your happiness, remove all the negativity, remove all the unhappiness in your life. So this one habit has helped me because I wanted to help more people. Because of my desire to add more value to other people, it has added more value in my life. Today, many people approach me on how to be more happy in life, and I do keynote speaking in various places today. So it's very important that we pick up any one habit and be very consistent on that particular habit. Now let's go on to habit number 11. Now this is the most important habit because uh, ultimately it's the that loose words that come out of our lips sinks big ships. Many entrepreneurs know it's very important to shut their mouth because shutting up the mouth is one of the most important skills because the mind is too much agitated. We go through a roller coaster of emotions. We don't know what is going to happen next. So because of our emotional instability or vulnerability, we may end up in losing out some words from the mouth because whatever you put inside your mind and your mouth, you can't take it back. So it's very important that successful entrepreneurs know that they have to shut their mouth. The mouth you have to shut with your colleagues, with your partners, with your vendors, with your clients. There are many people out there waiting to frustrate you, to irritate you. But you know, successful people, they know how important it is to keep their mouth shut. They're very good. They exhibit very good quality of resilience and patience. So if you are an entrepreneur and if you know that there are enough people around you irritating you, frustrating you, develop this one skill of just keeping your mouth shut. Let them assume whatever you think about it. So you don't, because our objective is one. Our focus is very clear. We have to be very clear on what we want to achieve. Focus over there. Don't worry about what others will think of you. If you just keep your mouth shut, lots of problem in life can be solved by just adopting this one particular practice. Am I right in saying? Just practice this. So, just to quickly summarize the 11 habits, the habit number 1. Okay, there are no order or priority in this list. It's of any order. So, just sharing with you the 11 habits, summarizing it. Stay focused. Focus on your body. Keep it active. Wake up early, but be prepared the previous night. Network and connect with people. Celebrate those tiny successes. Embrace the fear and frustration. Practice the 2-minute technique which I just shared with you. Remember to take sufficient rest and take sufficient sleep. Okay, don't miss out this element. Ensure that you talk to yourself positively every single day. We are not superheroes, man. So let's ask for help whenever it is required. And be consistent in whatever we do. And remember to shut the mouth. Okay, so this is a pretty exhaustive list. I know that some of you may be following 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or even all the 11. If you practice all the 11, congratulations. But if you think that there is 1 or 2 are there which is missing, start putting it in your practice. Now pick any one habit and start focusing only on that one tiny habit. Don't take everything together at a go and start practicing it. So how do you form a new habit? Now it's a very simple 6-step process. Let me quickly share with you a very quick 6-step process. Now pick any one small habit. Mentally rehearse the habit multiple times. Okay, the visual mental rehearsal is very, very key and important for you to get this into your muscle memory. And do the habit for the next 4 to 6 weeks once you get it from bed. And appreciate and celebrate the success. If you are able to follow for today, go and appreciate yourself. Celebrate it because you have to cajole and coax your mind. And if possible, come up with your accountability partner. It can be your spouse, your partner, your friends. It can be anyone. You tell them that you're practicing this particular habit and keep them as your accountability partner. Talk to them every single day that you have done this particular habit. Or even you can report it to a social media group. And keep on testing it, adjusting it and iterating it until you achieve success in that particular habit. Let the habit, you become the habit. So 11 habits are there. Remember, any one habit, if you can improve 1% daily, can change your whole life over there. Because I'm sincerely practicing 2 tiny habits in my life. And are you ready to support and help me to spread 2 things? One is I help people who I'm happy through one of my daily habit, which is my free happiness codes and email codes which I sent to more than 5,000 people, and there are many people who are very happy today because of this one habit which I have cultivated. And if you are part of this course, or if you know anyone whom you think that they benefit from this course, please ask them to visit www.happinesscourse.com and sign up for this happiness course. Every single day they will get one happiness lesson in their email inbox which can help them to become more happier. So please do share it with your friends. It's free. Please do share it with your friends and your family members, your colleagues, so that you can also share happiness in your life. Okay, so this is one habit which I have been pretty consistent, and people are giving me good reviews about this particular happiness course. So please do share this happiness course with your friends. And the second habit which I have cultivated from childhood is I invest a lot of time with nature. I ensure that, because I believe that Mother Nature is a very good teacher. So I invest a lot of time with Mother Nature. Yearly, at least twice, I either go to a forest or to Himalayas. In the coming month of July, I am visiting Himalayas. I am going to a place called Valley of Flowers in Hemkund Sahib. And because I feel that going in front of nature removes all the negativity, removes all the barriers in your head, cleans up your whole energy inside you, and you can start fresh, think fresh, and increases my productivity and my performance. I come up with some brilliant ideas when I go and come back. So this is a place which I am visiting this month, in this year, on July 23 to July 21. So if you are interested, you can join me for this spiritual and adventurous journey. And I know the scariest part for many people when I share about the Himalaya trip is not the trip, is not the adventure. Oh, it's the 9 days of off from our busy life. Remember, successful people, they take off from their busy life, they invest on themselves. This is one habit I have cultivated in my life. If you think that you can join me in this particular trip, just sign up at himalayas.gr8.com. I will send you details of this trip. It's from July 23 to July 31, starting from Delhi Airport and ends up at Delhi Airport. So this is all about today's webinar of 11 tiny habits of successful entrepreneurs which can help you to master money and happiness. I sincerely thank each and one of you for joining me in this webinar, and I hope the information I shared with you in this crisp 55 minutes would be of great value to you. And my request to you is only one thing. It's just not about knowing things, it's about doing things. Just pick up any one habit which you think it can make a big change in your life. Put in practice, put in action. Because if you put in action and if you become that habit, it's going to help your family, it's going to help your friends, it's going to help your clients, it's going to help the society at large.